do you ask for a PhD student?
So for the company I work for, which is Merck, the process is very much the same. I think for PhDs the questions may be slightly more technical. The biggest difference is we ask PhDs to do a 45-minute presentation on their thesis and their work. And maybe we tailor the interviews for people who also have PhD research in the same area or have gone to the same university as them, so they can get more of an idea of the person. But otherwise the interviews are basically the same.
I would say for P&L it's the same process as well. Everyone has to go through the same day, 2-day long, presentation and many, many interviews. Even some interns have to go through that process. But you mentioned looking more at the resume for a master's or PhD level, and I think that's true as well. Just because you've perhaps had a more unique experience that's demonstrated on your resume now, whereas when you were a bachelor's, you had a chemical engineering experience, and some people have undergraduate research experiences or internships that are unique, but it's much more everyone learns the same thing, and there's not a lot to talk about on your bachelor's resume, or you'd probably look at it more. But actually, when I interviewed, people did ask me a lot of things straight off my resume, just sitting in front of them, and they'd say, oh, so you did this research, or whatever. So I think it's pretty much the same.
Sorry. PS interview and the PhD interview is the same in our company. We also ask PS students to give a short presentation. Maybe not a technical thing, maybe about their assignment or something, but they also have to give a presentation. But quite often in American resumes, I see there's no GPA, and I don't like this at all.
So we're the oddballs. We have completely different interviews for PhDs and for bachelors. So for a PhD, it's pretty much the same as anywhere else. You get to give your talk, you describe your PhD research, you then meet with some people one-on-one, and it's a whole day process. For our undergraduates, we do a completely different interview, because we hire undergraduates to go into field operating services and to go out and start up refineries. So the kind of questions that we ask undergraduates are more to see whether they have initiative, whether they get on well with people from different cultures, and whether they have a sense of adventure and they want to go travel the world and live out of a suitcase for 5 years.
So as far as the resume, like if you're going for a job more in management, do you kind of want to like bury the PhD stuff and like you're trying to overcome it? And you're applying for a job that maybe they're asking for 5 years of experience, but you think you're qualified because you have your PhD?
Great question. Should you bury your PhD if you want a management job? Anybody want to comment on that one? John?
Tough one.